your boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name's Bleeves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and I hope that your bag is pumping just a little bit today. Not too much, but just a little bit, just to let you know, hey, it's gonna be okay. Now, some of the projects are gonna be down. There's a few that are experiencing a little bit of a dip, but generally speaking, the market is still in the positive. That's a great sign. We're up about $40 billion on the day. And most of it, by the way, going into Bitcoin. This is exactly what we want to see for that next leg up. So strap in, strap on, whatever you strap, do your strap thing, and let's talk about it. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. That helps push me up. Yesterday's video was not trending at all, and we didn't get a whole lot of likes. Only at 38 likes. Normally we get about 60. So help me out. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. So Pi up 23%, having a breakout. Syrup up 27%. This is top 100. Casp is up 7%. Aptos is up 9% after a good day yesterday as well. SPX up 6.8%. SEI up 7.9%. Bitcoin, as you can see over here, up 2.7%. And that's where the money comes from to take over the rest of this market. Move up 13%. Mocha 6%. XCN up 9%. A couple of little breakouts. Pulse Chain still doing that. Bananas 31 up 30% on the day. CFG 21.9 per 11%. NPC 7.7. HSK 70% increase in a day. Prom 13.9, AIC 27, H up 20.6%, GPS up 27%. You can see it all over the place. Islam is up 17% on the day. The Islamic coin now has a $57 million market cap. Doesn't do anything. Where are the things that actually do stuff? Oh yeah, DevvE. DevVE's up 10% on the day, 47.45, having a nice little run. Actually, the 47.45 was the top right now. It's at 45.87, but 72% still up on the year. So, guys, let's not forget here on December 31st or whatever year ago it was, the low 14 cents for DevvE, now trading at around. Don't be mad. You know what I mean? When in doubt, zoom out is basically it. So the rest of the market, we've hit the 66 level on fear and greed, which would mean that, this might be, there might be a correction coming. I get a feeling that we're not going to experience that correction the same way that we would like to, or the same way that we would kind of hope. So let's pop this up on the screen too. And let's move this magnificent man meat sandwich right here over to the side just a little bit. That way you can see your comments on the screen. Not that you don't see them on the screen twice anyway, but fear and greed index, we're in, it's about time to sell zone. The money keeps trickling downwards. The Bitcoin on exchanges continues to hit lows. Bitcoin ETFs, yesterday's flows, another massive positive inflow, 588 million. But the one that matters the most is right here, and that's the Ethereum ETF. That's the one that I think, and listen, you've got to have money. You've got to have money in Bitcoin for it to start trickling down, but you need to have a good saturation on Ethereum to show positivity in altcoins. And guess what? Another big day of inflows, 71 million in inflows on the Ethereum ETF. Guys, it is only a matter of time before all of these pieces start to add up. Now, why are we looking at these pieces? Why have they not added up yet? Well, that's complicated. Bull market, 0 of 30. So we are not near. We're in hold territory. The market, everything strategically is telling you right now, hold tight. It is about to get absolutely bonkers and nanners, as Cartman would say. Today, Cartman, not Jacob Fatu. So there you go. All right. So what is next for this market? Well, looking like a pretty good day overall, but if we take a step back and we look where the concentration is, that concentration is in Bitcoin, which is now up 2%. Looks like it's getting ready to break out, start testing the all-time high. If that happens, there's going to be a surge. That surge, I think, goes to 124,096. We are not that far away from price discovery. What we're looking for is we're looking for that big move right there, and that is about 10% above the all-time high. That's where price discovery, I think, is going to go. Now, 120K might be the number where we get the breakdown. Look, nobody's selling at 112, 113, 114 other than traders. Nobody who's hodling, they're going to sell at a nice round number. Most of them 200,000, but 125,000 or thereabouts, that's going to be one of those spots, one of those points of contention. So I think we're in the middle of what is a capital re-entry. By the way, when I say that, let's look at the reason that I'm saying it, and that's all about that global money flow. Now, what we got was we got this dip right here, which again, we correspond these things because the markets are pricing this in this way. That's that thing right there. And now we've got this rip going, and that rip lasts for a couple days, and then we just continue up, up and away. So what I think we're going to see here is this right here as it just starts moving up, up and away. Doesn't mean that we won't have peaks and valleys. It's going to be another dip coming in a few days. Going to be another dip coming in a few days. But generally speaking, the trend is to the upside. That is a great sight. Now, the question still remains, when do we get altcoin season? And it's not even close, by the way. By the way, that's despite everybody telling you that, oh yeah, altcoin season's coming, bro. This is the start of it. And you've got the altcoin Gordon guys. You've got all these different people out here. Altcoin season won't even load. But let me tell you, when we look at Bitcoin dominance, 65.62, Bitcoin dominance surging. When Bitcoin dominance surges, there is no altcoin season. So until we get some better confirmation of that, then not yet. So we're holding out for it. We're hoping for it. We got our fingers crossed. But we need to see that big move out of Bitcoin. We need that big surge. We need that dominance rush so that we can get that big cascade down. When that big cascade down comes, that's not money leaving the market. That's money moving from Bitcoin into altcoins. That is what we are looking for. Now, with that, let's talk about our channel sponsors, Blocky, the AI agent. If you haven't already, you're going to need to get yourself some Blocky. And by the way, this is a great opportunity for accumulation of Blocky because guess what? It is down muy bueno Lotso today, 85.93, down 16% on the day. And you might be saying to yourself, if you've got, donkey brain, like Frank from It's Always Sunny, if you got donkey brain, you're like, it's over, bro. It's not going to go up anymore because it's already on the way down and in the bottom and it's never going to recover. Well, let me introduce you to Puff again, because Puff is now up 8x from where it was just a couple of days ago. It had its big run, then it had its little sell-off, and now it's on its next leg up. And look, the next leg up is only about a third of the way to where it ultimately ended up last time. Okay, so not gigantic, but pretty good. Now let's go back over to Blocky and let's say, well, what's going on with Blocky? Well, what's going on with Blocky is Blocky's doing the same thing. It's already had its high. It's already had its little double pump. Now it's going down here, and now it's trying to find new buyers to step in, right? That's what's happening. So when you look at it from this context, then guess what you're seeing? You're seeing it getting ready for another run. So the original investors, the weak hands, they're already out. So now it's just a matter of building. So what I would expect to see is some interesting money start to come back into Blocky over the next couple days for another surge. The last time this surge came up, if we go back to about the halfway spot, that's 2026. That's not a bad run for this project at that point. That would actually be a 3x, but we're looking more like for a 6 to 7 to 8 to 10x on Blocky coming up very, very soon, in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching out for it. I suggest you be watching out for it. Blocky probably going to have a significant run. Let's not forget all of the pieces that have to fall into place. What we need is more investors. In order to get more investors, what do you have to do? You're going to have to get on some exchanges, right? That's going to be one of the steps along the way. What else? You're going to, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. You're going to be listed. You need to be listed so that you're showing up over here. Like right now, just little things, just little things right here. So we don't have Blocky yet showing up on TradingView. Again, we want to open the lane. We want to clear some space here so that everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. Everybody can buy it, and then price go up. Okay. Now all we have to do after that is come up with narratives and things that people will like. So that's the next step. So get yourself some Blocky before it's too late. Also, CC Coin, if you are not paying attention, guess what? Kind of in range right now. CC Cash still up pretty good on the day. CC Rewards still continuing to overperform right now, just going crazy, up 15% again on the day. Blockchain Beauties still struggling to find its way. Again, it's a narrative, and this is a narrative that relies on retail, and this retail has been punched in the mouth so many different times. Everybody in retail basically needs a win at this point. That's what everybody's looking for. Just in case it was not clear right here, everybody's looking for, just give me another puff, just one more puff. Give me another 300x. Give me another 300x, and I'm going to be golden. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to feel really good about it. Give me another, let's get Blocky to 10 million market cap. That's going to be a 10x. For a lot of people, though, that's going to be, because I think, I think our launch price about 200,000. So that's going to be a 50x. That's a huge number. Okay. So what we're looking for is retail to start winning a little bit. We get a few retail wins, and then guess what? This whole ecosystem will erupt. Blockchain Beauties go crazy. CC Coin going to go crazy. CC Cash, CC Rewards. It's all going to go parabolic and wild. And check it out. Again, little puff, having that breakout, confirming and showing you exactly what's happening. By the way, when I say this, I want to be very clear about what I'm talking about. You get your top, then you got your double top, then you got your pump test, then you had your complete dump because then you lost faith, and then boom, it started to consolidate here for a short period of time, and now boom, the rally is back on. So now that we know that, let's go back over and let's look at it on Blocky one more time. We got boom, then we got a double top right there. We got the two tops right there and right there, and then we got that secondary test. Then we got the loss of faith. Now we're going to have a little bit of sideways action. By the way, this doesn't mean that we found the bottom, but it does mean that we're looking for it. So once new buyers step in, boom, we get that big run back up, and about halfway up goes back to around that 26 range right there. Not huge, but good. That's a pretty good range right there. So I think that's what you're going to end up seeing very, very soon. So my reason for watching Blocky. Now, as far as the DevvE ecosystem is going, let's talk about it, because there is a video coming out in about 40 minutes. So make sure that you set a notice for yourself or something like that. And by the way, are you still bullish on DevvE? If you are, put it in the chat right now. Let me know with hashtag DevvE that you're bullish on DevvE. And by the way, if you're not, I don't know. I can't make it any clearer for you. There's no underlying signal. There's no hidden agenda here. There's nothing here that for me it is bearish. So I don't know how high it goes. I do know it's going to break out. I do know it's going to be fairly soon. I do know that there has to be an announcement of partnerships before they actually make that big step. Before all of that happens, there has to be some kind of major announcement to let people know, hey, the way is clear. This is about institutions, by the way. For full disclosure, it is important to recognize that the Dev Exchange is all about institutional grade trading. You're going to attach your wallet. You're not going to have your wallet is not going to be part of the Dev Exchange, right? Your wallet is going to be your wallet. And you're going to connect your wallet to the exchange, and that's how you're going to trade. And that is a paradigm shift in the way assets are controlled. And then you also are going to be the liquidity provider, which means that you are going to earn yield off of your money. Now, look, remember what I told you. If you have about 20,000 DevvE, that you're going to be a millionaire, right? And can I guarantee it? No, but I can have an opinion. Here's the thing. If you were to just delegate your money for DevvE into the liquidity pool, and you just let it continue to work for you and grow, how much money do you think? Again, I think this is going to $50 a token. How much do you think that's going to be worth to you in residual money coming in? Like, that's the important part, right? What's it going to be worth in residual money every day that you're earning on yield from just becoming a liquidity provider? And I think the number, in my opinion, is going to be just astronomical. Like I could see something like 5, 6, 7, 8% gains off of your money on DevvE in the early days. I mean, certainly 13, 14, 15%. Imagine that. Imagine you put $1 million or you have 20,000 DevvE. Imagine it runs up to $50 real quick because we got this big announcement that comes out. You got a 5 billion market cap. You're sitting there you put your $1 million into liquidity pool at DevvE, and you're earning 14% for a year. That's $140,000, guys. You just made it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get rich. You're not going to get rich off of $140,000 a year or $150,000 a year, but you're going to pay your bills. You know what I mean? You're going to have $1 million in the bank, the DevvE bank, and you're going to be able to pay your bills. That's important. Okay. So I'm going to stake. I originally told you guys that I'm most likely am going to sell when I get to this range. That would be my point of sell. However, here's the problem. Problem is, I got a sense that DevvE is going to go so much higher. When I look at where, and again, if I'm right about who the partner is, then it should be reasonable to expect a $20 billion market cap, right? So $20 billion market cap, if I were to, and look, I know nobody likes to compare because you never really know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident in what I'm telling you right now, that the partner is going to be NASDAQ. I'm pretty sure that is a slam dunk. So if that's the case, then we have to start comparing, like, what's it going to be like if it goes to Cardano levels? That would be $240 per token, 500x. Okay. That is a gigantic money. So 20,000 tokens at that point, $5 million. Okay. That's absolute insanity. Okay. So I think that there is some real opportunity here. So, let me know what you think. Do you think that could happen? Also, I'm interested in this. If Solana went to the market cap of Ethereum right now, then it would be $550. If Ethereum went to the market cap of Bitcoin, it would be $17,696. If CryptoPunks went to Dog with Hat, it would be down. That's awesome. That is awesome. Anyway, guys, you got to have yourself a bag of DevvE. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what's happening today, by the way. That's not really to me, I don't think that's really a breakout. I think there's just some weak sticks out here. I don't know what's going on. Okay. You can see there was a lot of buys coming in for a while. Price started pumping. Then you see all the sells. But when you start to look at it, then you can see right here, like, you kind of look around and all of these wallets that you're looking at, don't buy and sell. They're just arbitrage bots that are just moving the price. You know what I mean? So very tough sometimes to try to figure out what is going on some of these charts. I mean, it's a lot of volume, though. It's a lot of volume. Now, what that does mean to me is that there are people stepping in. There's new buyers that are just kind of popping in. And I think, in my opinion, they're front running these arbitrage bots just a little bit, and they're seeing this nice little pump. And maybe they're taking a little bit of profit along the way. But I think we're going to see re-entry here. Now, I am concerned about price go down. I'm concerned that you could see one more little breakdown towards the bottom, because what you got was this less aggressive sort of top right there. And when you look at it and you get a little zoom in, matter of fact, we're going to move away from this one and we're going to move over here. And then we're going to look at this from this perspective right here. Zoom in just a little bit, and you can see on it that, you've got this little right there, just kind of going. And what we got right to the edge of where we could have a breakout right there, located conveniently at the 50 MA. And what happened? We got a resounding rejection. So we went from 50 cents just a little while ago all the way back down to 45 cents. And the market is now bleeding a bit, not down on the day, but we're only up 15 billion after being up 50 billion just a few short moments ago. USA. All right. So we got the Fun Family says, we soul our soldiers, calling all military all over the world. Let's lead through peace, strength, show our love and support for all who protect and serve. If you do not know, then we do have a project here. Now, we made a video for it yesterday. We did talk about it. It's called WeSoul. WeSoul currently trading at about 68,000 market cap. You can see it right there. This was as fair a launch as you can get. And as a matter of fact, let's get it on the 1 hour so that we can get a good idea of what's going on right here. Again, let me say this for the record. What happened was they've launched We Are the Soldiers, and the idea behind it, and if you want to, you can go into the Telegram, and there is an audio that you can listen to. It's about 25 minutes long. It's Sean and Chris from the team, and it was Roger from Blocky. They were having this conversation about we are the soldiers. And their idea, or the premise here, is to help those in need around the world who are in the military. And what we've got here right now is, let's go down. We had the smooth move, X-lax, if you will. And we had a top, then we had it back down here. Then we went to the 236 and we came back down, but it still continued to go up. We had another mint near the top here a couple hours ago. When is this? 5 o'clock yesterday, broke out to 1100. So is it ready? I think that right now, when you look at it, it's still finding its way, obviously, but I think there's some tremendous upside on it. So I think that your next move most likely is going to be one of these right here, at least, to bang right there. So I do think you're about to see a pretty significant move, about a 3 or 4x. Not a lot, but it's still significant. 3 or 4x, and then we're going to see, because that's going to be a $250,000 market cap, and then we'll see whether or not it gets some really good exposure. Now, here's the interesting thing. As time goes on, there's going to be a lot of people paying attention to this. I am not military, so I have no vested interest in this. I was merely talking about this, so just kind of looking at it as a potential project. Now, because I think it is a potential project, then we're going to look at it from a financial standpoint. And from a financial standpoint, it makes a lot of sense to understand military training, military dedication and commitment, and that it is probably a wise thought to think that a project like this, run by former military, is probably going to have a nice little run. Now, it's establishing a nice little stair-step floor on its way up. The next thing is, do we get another surge into this? Does it go to the top of this range, or do we get a nice little breakout? This is the data that we have so far. By the way, if you're trying to do technical analysis on a meme coin like I'm trying to do, then you're probably not going to be right, just like me, about where some of these things are going to go. All right, you're guessing at best, but you're also guessing based on human sentiment. Now, I think these guys are dedicated; they're doing a great job. So I think that this right here signals a reversal back up into this little range right here. Then, of course, we could see it come back down again, and then we could see a breakout from right there. And then, boom! Once we do that, then you start looking at a longer time frame, and then you start looking at where you were before, and then you recognize, oh yeah, we're probably coming back down into this range, which is going to be about double. Well, what I'm basically saying is that we're going to be minting a much higher floor, because when you start to bear that out just a little bit, then that come down right there into that range corresponds to this little spot right here. So I think that right now the chart appears to be building for a nice little breakout, and we shall see whether it does or not. But I'm super bullish on it, and I do think that it's going to have a nice big run. Okay. We Sol is not here to play. We are definitely rooting for the veterans, and I think we all are. I think we all are. As a matter of fact, if you haven't, I think if you haven't, there's Joe Rogan had somebody on just recently. We're talking about how poorly the military is treated, and of course, Jon Stewart is constantly talking about how we just do not take care of the people who take care of us. And we should probably do a better job. And it's good to see somebody out here trying to do something, anything about helping those in need, especially those who have served their country to a great capacity and sacrificed for your freedom. So I think that this is something with a future. Again, we're just looking at it from a financial standpoint, because that's what we are. And to me, it seems like a solid opportunity as an investment to maybe score a win. But I hope when you do, maybe put some of that money towards holding the floor and keeping the price going up, and let's make something of it. All right. So hold on, I gotta get off my soapbox. All right, now. All right, so I guess there we have it. Like I think we've gone pretty fast here today, and gotten to the spot where let's just talk about some of the prices. All right. So we're up 21 billion on the day. Bitcoin breaking out. My next move for Bitcoin is going to be a test of that all-time high. If we get confirmation and we get a break above the all-time high, which by the way is going to be right up here, we're going to break above the all-time high. And then I think that's going to be where the rally starts. And that's where, there's going to be a surge, and, Bitcoin's been very, very strong. So we could see a surge up to like 115, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we could see a big surge, and then boom, a nice little catch back down here. And if we get a confirmation right there and it breaks, then we are off to 124, 125,000 if that happens. And by the way, this could happen with lightning speed right now. Remember, all the data that I keep giving you shows you that the market is headed back up. Now, look, we've got right here, MACD is flipping green. We're about to see that. The last time that happened, this happened. So I don't know if this is a fake out. It could be, but it doesn't look like it. And we're about mid-range on the RSI. So you've got a nice little run here, and there's still a little quote unquote meat on the bone, if you will, for a massive continuation and a breakout. We saw that happen over here. Then we saw it just continue for a little while. I think we're about to see that. And if we do, then I want to assure you, over the next 30 days, maybe 40 days, you're going to see just this big move. Then you're going to see this happen over here. And this is the most important part for everybody. This right here, we want to see this thing get up into the 70% range. Then we want to see it start to collapse and break down, because people are taking profit, and they're taking their profit and they're flipping it over into altcoins. How do we know it's coming into altcoins? Well, Bitcoin right now trading at 107,000, which means Tether should be broke, right? Because all your money is going from Bitcoin into Tether. It should be absolutely broke. So let's go look at the market cap on Tether over the last month. And oh shit, we're at all-time highs. Okay. So not only is Bitcoin rallying to all-time highs, but money is getting thrown into Tether to the point that Tether is at an all-time high. But what about USDC? Because that's the next big one, right? What's going on with USDC? Well, we look at it on a month and oh shit, look at this. It's over at 61 billion. 2 days ago, it was at an all-time high. Is it today? No, it's not, but it's 200 million away from it and could be in a very short period of time back to that all-time high as well. This is where it was a year ago. So the money is still continuing to flow. Now, by the way, don't forget that there is a space where there are boom, 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 categories. There we go. We want stable coins. Why am I not seeing stable coin as a motherfucker? All right, so let's go back. Why am I not finding it? Duh, because I'm stupid. Let's we want a tag, and we're going to tag stable coins. There we go. All right, so we got Athena USD with a $5 billion market cap. I don't know if that's up or down. We're not looking for that one. World Liberty USD1, True USD, PayPal USD. Which one are we looking for? We're looking for Ripple USD. Let's see where Ripple is going right now on market cap. And there you go. From 100 million market cap to 400 million market cap. They are making waves already. Didn't take that long. Okay. So, yeah, from 50 million to 400 million in a very short period of time. So, guys, the money is continuing to flow into these markets, these indices. They're continuing to show you, and we're ready for that next move, and we're ready to start building. So, if you want to make some gains, in my opinion, by the way, don't forget, get those We Are Soldiers. Get yourself some of that. Right now, you can get it at a very inexpensive price, only 68,000 market cap. Don't forget that. Same thing with Blocky, about an 850,000 market cap right now. I do think it goes to 10 million market cap. That's a 12x, an easy 12x, maybe 13x, depending on where you get in. But I think it's going to be some very easy money. Again, look, we gave you DevvE. You got 15x off of DevvE. So far, you got 323x off of Puff. You got, I think it was like 15x off of Blocky. Like, we're making gains. We're having these big wins. Winecoin. What do we do with Winecoin? We had we put one Solana into Winecoin, which, by the way, where's Winecoin today? 1224. So we put one Solana into Winecoin, and we took one Solana out of Winecoin. Okay, and right now we have 2 Solana in Winecoin. So another one, just a nice big win. What's not 2, it's close to it. It's $215. So 1.5 is what. Okay, so we got 1.5. All right, so we got 1.5 Solana off of 1 Solana that we put in. So 2.5 is where we are right now. We already took our original investment out. We're on the house money. And by the way, Winecoin, look, I think Winecoin goes back to its, it goes back up here to one of these big caps up there at some point very, very soon. Like, I think that it's worth a nice little 10x over here. The narrative is fun, but what we need is to find narrative. How to buy DevvE. So to buy DevvE, it is available right now through Uniswap. Also, DevvE is available on MEXC. If you're in the United States, if you're in the United States, then you got to go to Uniswap to buy it. Okay. But if you are, here are the exchanges. By the way, don't forget that DevvE is deeply in compliance mode. Okay. So they're not really listed on rogue exchanges like Weeks and KCEX that don't do KYC. Now, the United States is not pushing for this. So there's you're going to see it show up everywhere pretty soon. Like, this is the thing. Like, Tron, I think, is going to blow up because you can't really get it a lot in the United States other than use DeFi methods. But Uniswap v3 right here is your place to get it. But you can go to MEXC, you can go to Gate, you can go to LA Token, LCX, BVOX, Hybit, and Blinex. Blinex? What the fuck is that? Biloxi, I don't know that one at all. But 183,000 in volume here, 500,000 in Gate, 140,000 on MEXC. So it is being traded for about $1 million a day. That's not an insignificant number. There's actually a pretty big one. Okay. So there is some interest, but here's the thing. Don't forget, the big partner for DevvE is NASDAQ, and they haven't announced it yet because NASDAQ, they need regulatory approval in the United States before launching, and then they're going to do a public announcement, and we're going to find out that I'm right here, and it's going to be NASDAQ. And look, I can't say with 100% certainty. I can just say that if you guys follow my channel, then you know in November of 2023, I was talking about NASDAQ entering crypto and what they were going to do. And the statement that DevvE issued about their partner was a mirror of what NASDAQ said. And so, again, doesn't mean that it's NASDAQ, but the information that they gave us so far was that it was a massive TradFi partner. This was not a mid sort of company. This is one of the bigs that's coming on board. So beyond that, the fundamental changes that you have to consider. 0 time settlement on their exchange, which means that it's institutional grade, by the way, just in case you're wondering what that means. It means it's going to be one of the only institutional grade. It is a permissioned chain. Now, a lot of the move is for permissionless because a lot of people want to be able to see exactly what's going on. TradFi does not want to see. They don't want you to see what's going on, what's behind the. So having a permissioned chain means that and if they want to make it permissionless, by the way, they can still do that. You can have your own chain. Again, I spoke with Tom Anderson the other day about some potential here because I was reading about how Avalanche was carving off layer ones and how, MapleStory and some of these games and stuff like that. Remember, gaming is a big part of DevvE as well. That's the Fiat token and the game. And then Taunt Battle World is going to be coming out as well. So, they're building this ecosystem and this gaming ecosystem. It is only a matter of time before a massive announcement. Again, 0 time settlement means that your transactions are instantaneous, and then you are going to be the one that's going to be earning off of it, not them. This is not where, look, who's getting rich? Who's getting rich off Coinbase? Brian Armstrong. Okay. Who's getting rich off Coinbase? Brian Armstrong. Who got rich off of Binance? CZ. Now, there's some other people that are involved in this process. I'm not saying he's the only one, but these companies, the money, it goes up to the top. All right. With DevvE, the money is going to go to you. So there's a paradigm shift. And by the way, don't think for a second that the developers of DevvE are not going to make a fortune. Okay. They're going to make a fortune. However, the money, the majority of the money is going to come from licensing with these major people, and you're going to earn from the trading. Remember, Coinbase, if you go to Coinbase, up until just recently, if you traded Tether for USDC, they charged you a spread tax. For what? It's $1 to $1. They charge you a spread fee. I'm not kidding about this, by the way. Now, they changed it, but they were charging you. Do you imagine how much money was being made off of Coinbase, just scalping you and stealing from you in that way? I have no respect for Coinbase. They are thieves of the highest order. Okay. But let's just say you move $150 over. All right. You move $150 over to Coinbase in Solana. And then you want to trade your Solana to USDC. Okay. They're going to charge you a Coinbase fee, which is like $2 or something like that. So now you have 148. Then they're going to charge you a spread. And the spread's going to be like 1.5% or 1% or whatever percentage it is. So by the time your $150 becomes USDC at Coinbase, it's $141. They've taken almost $9. This is one transaction, by the way, and it's percentage based. So if I'm doing a small amount, it's not that much. But what if I'm doing $1,500? Well, then all of a sudden it's like $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, $90 for all these bullshit transactions that you're doing, including that spread fee. Okay. And understand why it happens, but let's also remember that it does happen, and they keep that money. They keep that money. Coinbase is a scam. Okay. Now, all that money goes up to Brian Armstrong, and it goes to the people at the top of the company because they're publicly traded now. you're going to see some revenue being generated for stock purposes. They are a profit, they're a profit motive business, and there is profit. But that money went all the way up to the top. With DevvE, it's going to go to you. So why am I bullish on DevvE? How could you not be? Could you not be? Look at the paradigm shift that's getting ready to happen in crypto. Look at the people who are involved. Look at what's happening with DevvE and tell me how you're not bullish, okay? If you're not bullish, then here's the thing. You're not thinking clearly. You're looking at charts and you're saying, well, price go down. And price go down, then it might not be good. It's not going to be good. Because no. Right? You're looking at this and you're like, well, if it's like this, then it must be dead, or it must be, insert whatever bullshit you want, right? But remember, especially something with no narrative yet, they go through stuff, right? So don't forget, Solana was down here at $8 not that long ago. Not that long ago, by the way. Solana was at $8. Solana went to a high of 295 from 8. Could you imagine if you, instead of fucking around with meme coins or talking about Ethereum all the time, imagine if you just put all your Ethereum holdings into and bought that knife at the bottom around $8, $9, $10. And then you rode that up to the top right there. How much did you win? Do you know what I'm saying? Like DevvE, same thing. It's going to have the same kind of run. It's going to have an even bigger run. It's not going to have the same market cap up here. I don't really think there's a path for that right now. That's my honest assessment. But $1 billion and then $5 billion market cap, those are completely doable. I mean, all you have to do is come over here and find how many different projects are at least at $5 billion market cap. And there are at least right now 26 projects all the way down to BitGet that have at least a $5 billion market cap. And some of these, do they even deserve to be there? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. Like, do they even deserve to be there with these market caps? And the answer to that, probably not. They don't do anything. They don't generate revenue. They're not producing, right? But then consider what happens when the market flips, boom, and we start going crazy and we get into that parabolic sort of banana zone. Well, when we get into that banana zone, all of these in this top are going to have at least a $2 to $3 to $4 billion market cap. And then that means that DevvE enters the top 50, 60, 70, 80. It goes into that range. It goes up, has a nice little run, and guess what? It's $5 billion market cap, and it's just kind of in the middle. Does it go up to the top? I don't know. But I know that it's going to run, and I know that it's going to run super hard. The name NASDAQ matters. And a matter of fact, even if it's not NASDAQ and it's some other major like Dow Jones or S&P, if it's some major company just like that, then same thing. Nothing's changing for me. Same thing. It's still going to be just as exciting. But I think it's going to be NASDAQ. So, if you don't, let me know what you think in the comment section. Sure. I mean, we can talk about it, but I know I'm right. How do I know I'm right? Just because I know I'm right. Shut up. You know what I mean? All right. So, short term, let's go back to DevvE one more time here because, short term, the 200 MA, see it right here, has gone flat. For bullish confirmation, we really need to see a breakout above 81 cents right now to shift this back positive. Okay, plain and simple. The longer we're down here, the more bearish we're going to get. And there's plenty of bearishness right now on altcoins. Okay, this is not exclusive to DevvE. Ethereum, where's Ethereum's? Let's see. Ethereum is still bearish, right? 200 MA is still coming down. So, not the only one. Solana coming down. We've had our run. We had a nice little gain over here, but everything is kind of looking bearish. DevvE's still in a bullish format, but it's narrowing that margin right now, and it looks like it's about to start coming down to meet this price. So, all right, so it's the price over 200 days, by the way. So, I mean, basically what you're doing is you're taking the way that you get that moving average is you're taking this data all the way to right there. And you're using the average close, okay? And in using the average close, then you're going to start seeing some differing in that position. But you're going to account for all of this over the next couple days. That's going to start going up. It's going to start coming down. It's going to look, it's going to start coming down rapidly over the next little while. Now, that would be what happens unless you get a break above the 81 cents, because then that's going to push it back in the uptrend. And if it does that, then we're going to get a bullish crossover. That bullish crossover right there, the golden cross, we get that. Boom, we have a nice little breakout. But again, these are lagging indicators, so they're telling you what you can see is already happening. So I want to see some price pushing up. We want to see the 50 swing back positive. We want to see it catching up here, and then we want to see that crossover, and then we want to see the breakout. But again, I think that this happens. We'll get a natural pump if Ethereum breaks out and we get an altcoin season, something like that. If we get some breakouts, then it'll be nice, right? And it'll be cool. But what we're looking for is that announcement that, hey, we've got this massive partnership, whoever the partner is. Again, I think it's NASDAQ, but I don't know. And that's when we really start to see, what are we made of here and what happens? Because I just want you guys to understand how much capital. Just think about this. There's $3.27 trillion in market cap in crypto right now. Okay. This is going to be one of the major exchanges for one of the major players in traditional finance. So what does that mean for you? Well, the only other one that I have as a comparison was, if you guys remember, we talked about this before, SWE. And the reason for SWE is because Franklin Templeton, they're partnered with a major TradFi partner, and their market cap, 9.5 billion. So again, if we just go to CoinGecko, we just do our comparison, we just kind of feel like, what if we went to SWE level, right? Boom, 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 boom. $108 per coin. Right now they're tokens, but they'll be coins by that point. So $108. If you had 20,000 DevvE, that's $2.1784 million. Okay, that is significant. That is massive. So, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you haven't bought any DevvE at this point, then nothing can save you now. You ought to know by now how much I love you. I don't remember who that was. I just popped in my head as I was saying it. And by the way, what the fuck is going on with CoinGecko being all like white as fuck? I wonder if I can log in here. Boom. Okay. And now can we go dark mode? Ah, there we go. Woo. Damn, I hate light mode. All right. So, all right, that's going to be it for right now. Yeah, that's going to be it for right now. So here's what I'm going to be. If you're watching, paying attention, here's what I look for. Okay. Puff still at 54.50. Puff is still on the move. I'm going to look for Puff to cool off within the next couple of hours. And a lot of that money from Puff end up going back into Blocky, because a lot of the money came out of Blocky to go into Puff. And then I'm going to look for a little bit of that Puff profit to go into WeSoul as well. And by the way, I keep bringing this up, and I really don't have any skin in the game. They gave me $500 for a video. It's in my wallet. You can see it. And look at that. Account suspended right now. So they're dealing with some FUD. But look at that. Look at that art. Look at that art right there. Trail Boss says, why would they want to use DevvE when they could use XRP? Basically, what Trail Boss is asking is, why would a company want to use instantaneous settlement when they could have their project wait 20 seconds or 30 seconds for a settlement with XRP? And the answer to that is because it's zero. Also, XRP has no exchange. They're not incentivized. XRP settles transactions for money. XRP is not an exchange. Nobody would want to use DevvE versus XRP because they're not the same. They are a blockchain, but XRP is for cash settlements quickly compared to TradFi, but slowly compared to DevvE. Also, here's what you want, and here's why this matters. Let me go back to this one more time and say this as clear as possible. RWA is what matters. XRP is not trading stocks and bonds. DevvE will be trading stocks and bonds, and it will be instantaneous. People want instantaneous settlement. They don't want pretty fast. We don't want Brad Garlinghouse coming out here and saying, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fast, you know. I mean, what are you going to do? It's fast. You know what I mean? DevvE is going to give you instantaneous settlement. So that is the game changer for traditional finance. It's no matter how you look at it. XRP has its place. XRP is going to be how money is transacted across the world. XRP will build and become something major and better. But also, there's going to be millions of blockchains. The one thing to remember about the world is we're all talking about everything's going to be built on Ethereum. Everything's going to be built on Bitcoin. Everything's going to be built on all of these different 3, 4, 5 blockchains. And Mark Cuban said something very fantastic at one point. He said, why do you need a bunch of blockchains? You don't really need a bunch of blockchains. You only need a couple of them because they would service everything. Well, he's kind of right, but that's not entirely true. Avalanche has created a layer 1 that allows you to own a piece of a layer 1, which means that you can rename it. So it's not Avalanche, but it's MapleStory, Maple Chain. And MapleStory has done this. They are a layer 1 on the Avalanche. They're using the layer 1 stack. And then there was that other game. God damn, it's the Avalanche FPS. AVAX FPS game. It's a major game. I can't remember the name of it. Son of a bit. Gunzilla. Shit. Gunzilla. There we go. Gunzilla launches a AAA shooter as an Avalanche L1. They have their own piece of the Avalanche blockchain. DevvE's going to be able to do the same thing, only with instantaneous settlement. So it doesn't mean that there won't be one Avalanche, but there's going to be thousands of different Avalanche blockchain partners all working off of the same stack. Same thing with DevvE. So they're going to be the same because the technology would be the same, but everybody's going to have their own layer 1. And when you have your own layer 1, by the way, that means that you can issue a coin, not a token. And then if you decide to have substrate games or something like that in the game, like for example, you guys, Grand Theft Auto. All right. So GTA 6 is coming. And if GTA 6 is built on, let's say, Avalanche or DevvE, okay, they have their own layer 1. And there's GTA bucks that you can use inside the game. Well, if you become a developer, remember, GTA Online is a big deal. And if you become a developer, you could actually create mods inside GTA 6 and you get them approved by GTA 6, Rockstar Games. And then you could have a layer 2 on top of that layer 1, where when you go in there, the money is converted to digital pesos. If you decide that you want to have an expansion into GTA Mexico or anything like that, or if you want to have your own store set up inside, like Nike wants to set up a store inside GTA and have people buy Nike related NFTs that go on their character as clothing. Then Nike could create a layer 2 on the layer 1. That's the GTA 6 layer, or the DevvE, again, Avalanche DevvE capable of doing all of this right now. So a lot of these projects have outstripped XRP. A lot of these projects have outstripped Ethereum. A lot of these older chains, they're playing catch up to this new, more robust society. So it is my opinion that it's only a matter of time before all of this stuff kind of really, game theory is going to play out. Okay. People are going to catch up. And the question is not, will Ethereum be the most dominant? I think that it will. The question is, how much money could I make off of DevvE? And by the way, let's be very, very clear. DevvE, in my mind, is a game changer. DevvE will have an enormous run. I'm not here to hold DevvE for the rest of my life. I will always have a bet. By the way, my exit strategy has not changed. When I get to a certain level, I'm going to sell about 5,000 tokens, and that should be able to fund me for a while. And then I'm going to hold on to the rest as a liquidity provider but at some point I'm going to exit. All right. When I exit, I'm going to hold on to like 1,000 DevvE, because at that point, maybe 2,000. But it is my estimation that at some point, DevvE potentially goes up into the 100 billion range. If DevvE goes up into that 100 billion range, well, then you have to look at it from what is the what's the potential for the market cap there. And by the way, that is highly speculative. There's no, there's no accounting that we'll ever see DevvE at 100 billion market cap. Okay, but the closest comparison would be BNB, right? Or XRP. Let's just say it goes to XRP's market cap. Let's do this, XRP, and then pop this up on the screen. This is what it would look like. It would be $1,490 per coin if it went to XRP's price cap, which is 130 billion market cap. So we're talking about $1,000 a coin. So if I have an extra couple thousand that I'm just kind of holding on to, and it actually does something crazy, then each one of those could be worth million. Like that could be the next Ethereum. Remember, all you were holding. Imagine you're holding 20,000 Ethereum right now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to hold on to 1,000 or 2,000 or maybe 3,000 just in case something like this were to happen. But my exit strategy is all about one thing. Okay. Buying more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is this is the horse in the race. Okay. There's others out there, but Bitcoin is what matters to crypto. Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Everything that you do right now should be, if you're a wise investor, then everything about what you're doing right now, everything about your strategy should be about accumulating more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the leader of the race. Bitcoin is the one that's going to continue. While everything else kind of dies down and stuff like that, Bitcoin will persist. So that's it. Buy more Bitcoin. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again